It's Joy from Art Garage. We're here to help you find some things to do while you're stuck inside, give some things for your parents to do with you. We are going to read a story today, and we're going to make a monster. This monster you can use to express how you're feeling. It might be a fun way to kind of get through this weird time and you're kind of stuck inside. So, I'm going to read this book called Glad Monster, Sad Monster, and we're going to talk about your feelings and how really think about how you're feeling right now and let this monster be a way for you to get out whatever it is inside. Okay? So, Glad Monster, Sad Monster, a book about feelings by Ed Emberley and Anne Miranda. Right. Yellow Monster says, opening birthday presents, playing ball, slurping ice cream, and dancing with my friend or dancing with mom and dad make me glad. Does that make you happy too? The red monster says, being bugged by a bug, getting splashed, being laughed at when I fall down, and having someone knock over my blocks makes me angry. Urgh! Does it make you angry when you want to go somewhere and you can't right now? It's okay, a lot of us are feeling that way. The pink monster says, making valentines and rocking baby monster and baking muffins with Grammy monster, mom or dad, babysitter, and hugging wiggly puppies make me feel loving. I love puppies. I'm sure you guys do too. That does make you feel good. So go hug your dog, go hug your cat. The blue monster says, waving goodbye, watching my snow monster melt, losing my big blue balloon, and having it rain on parade day makes me sad. I feel that way sometimes. The orange monster says, listening to a terrible thunderstorm, or imagining what's hiding under my bed, or seeing little creepy crawly things, and being chased by grumpy growly things worry me. That's kind of scary. The green monster says, growling, showing my sharp white teeth, arrgh, waving my hands in the air and saying, shoo, shoo, and boo, boo, make me very scary. The purple monster says, being upside down and making funny faces and wearing big monster's clothes and goinking around make me feel silly. I bet some of you are having a lot of silly time inside with mom and dad. That's really fun. You should have more of that. That's good. So there are all our monsters with all of their feelings. And we're going to talk about you making a monster of how you might be feeling. This little guy is pretty mad. Right? But he was really fun to make. And he made me feel really good when I finished him. But we're going to work on making your own. And we're going to use some things. He made, ooh, look, he stood up. Yay! We're going to use some things that you might have at home to make this monster. So all you're going to need is a paper bag. Any paper bag will work. But we have to change the color of this bag, because this bag is just boring beige. And we're going to change the color. And there's different ways for you to do that. So you can watercolor. This is what it looks like when it watercolors, if you use watercolor, okay? So if I were to, I'm going to keep going with the green. So if I dipped in my watercolor paint and I just painted the bag, and you might lift this up and paint everything and change the color. This is what the watercolor looks like. It's kind of soft. It's not really dark, but it will work. But you have to cover the whole bag. So let me show you what I mean by that. So you can open your bag up, right? And there's sides. There's 4 sides to your bag that you need to make sure you cover, okay? So paint away if you want to use watercolor. Now, if you don't have watercolor, or you don't feel like using watercolor, or you don't like the way watercolor looks, you can always use a crayon. Now, if you've ever had classes with me, I always tell you to press really hard. So, you need to press really hard. I might press so hard my monster will fall over. We'll find out. Just press really hard. This is kind of cool because it's getting like a texture in there that could be scaly. That's perfect for a monster. Who knows what will happen? Okay, so that's what it looks like with crayon. If you can see that. That's pretty good. But you have to cover the whole bag, don't forget. And you could also glue paper down on here to change the color, that's all fine. I'm going to use one of these tiny bags that I have. And I'm going to use acrylic paint. And if you have tempera paint or acrylic paint, those things will work as well too. So, this really will cover quite quickly. So I'm going to open my bag and put my hand inside it. Or I can lay it down, whatever. And I'm just going to paint away. If it's easier for you to set it down, then do that. Maybe you want to set it down, keep it folded, and just paint. But you've got to get the whole thing covered. So we might speed this up. We might take a little break so that I can get this painted and you can get yours painted, and then just press pause and we'll be right back. Alright, so that is painted and I'm going to let it dry. So you might want to just kind of let it stand up like that on its own. It's like a little ghost. Messy. Make sure you're wearing something that's okay to get messy. And don't forget to wash your hands. Which I'm going to go do right now. I'll be back. We're back. It's dry. So I made a yellow monster. I don't know what color you guys chose. Now we need to stuff this bag so it can have a nice body for our monster. So you might have some stuffing that you could use. If you don't have this, you can use cotton balls. If you don't have cotton balls, or you don't have very much cotton balls, very many, you can use paper towels, toilet paper. I mean, maybe your paper napkin that you use to wipe your mouth at lunch could be an awesome stuffer inside your monster. So you could give that a try. So I'm going to use this stuffy stuff that you can kind of put in pillows or stuffed animals that you're making. But you're going to take that and stuff it inside the bag. And you want to have enough of it that it makes your monster's body plump. You're going to have plump monsters. Okay, need more. I'm going to make sure it's nice and puffy. And then don't fill it too full though, or you're not going to be able to tape it together. So I'm probably going to do one more little piece of stuffing. It's about that much. Can you see that? Okay, so I got that. I'm going to push it down, and then I'm going to take my bag and kind of fold it around. And you can be creative this way. There's no wrong way to tape your monster together, but there's a nice little body. And then take some tape, a couple pieces of tape, And what we're gonna do is tape it shut. So you just kind of have to put the tape on and then kind of smush it a little bit to get it to kind of stick to the paper. Okay, and we can cover that tape up later when we start to decorate our monster. So there's the body. Okay, now to make the legs for your monster, this one I stuffed some pipe cleaners up inside and then I hot glued around it. But if you can't use hot glue or you don't have a hot glue gun or it's not allowed in your house, then you don't have to do that. So that's just an idea. You could also take a paper towel or a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll, any kind of roll. You probably have a lot of these in your house. Fold it in half, just kind of push down. You see how I squished it? Just kind of squish it and then cut it in half this way. And now you've got two little legs for your monster. So in order for these to stick on, it's probably a good idea if you do little slits in it at the top. You can kind of see that I cut little slits in it, and I'm going to bend the toilet paper roll around like this. See how I did that? Okay, and then you might only even need one. It could be a one-legged monster. But you're gonna glue this on, tape this on, and it is gonna take some time. You're gonna have to give it time to dry, right? Okay, squeeze some glue onto those little spots and then stick it on your monster. You just kind of push it on there really good. And then you're gonna have to wait again. It takes a lot of patience when you let regular glue dry. But you could go out and have some lunch. You could go maybe and play in your backyard or do something fun with your dog while it's drying, right? And we're gonna do two legs. So I'm gonna let that sit and I'm gonna do the other one and I'm gonna let that dry. And then we'll get on to decorating it some more. So we'll cut those slits all around like that and then bend it out. Just kind of push it down. Take your glue and put the glue on those little tabs and stick it on your monster. And you're gonna have to let it dry a little bit, so we're just gonna have to wait. And you might even put something on it so that it's nice and heavy to hold it down on there. Maybe we'll take our book. Excuse me, Mr. Monster. Ah. And put our book on there maybe, balance it on there. Push it down so that it dries really well. There's a balancing thing for you guys. Okay, we're gonna let that dry and then we'll come back and we'll add more to our monster. Bye, have a good lunch. All right, we're back. My legs are on, our little monster. Now we need to have fun with him. Make him happy, make him sad, make him angry, make him frustrated, make him surprised, make him silly, whatever you want, whatever you're feeling today. I'm going to make mine happy. So look around your house. If you've got some extra paper, you can use extra paper to cut out eyes and mouths and teeth and noses and stuff. If you've got extra fabric or felt, you can use that as well. This is a little harder to cut, but it's not impossible. So you guys can figure out what you want to do. Yarn for hair, right here. Pipe cleaners for arms. All of these things will be useful for your monster. I'm going to stick with paper because I know that's easier to cut. And I'm going to make some eyes. So here's a little trick, and a lot of you guys already know this. You fold your paper in half, and you cut once, you'll end up with two eyes, right? So I folded my paper in half, and now I'm going to cut out a shape that I want to use for the eyes. And because I cut my paper, or folded my paper in half, now I've got two of the same size shape. And I'm going to take my glue and just stick them on there. And remember, your monster can have 12 eyes if you want it to have 12 eyes. You could have one eye. You could have as many eyes as you want it to have. It's a monster. It's going to be anything you want. I'm going to let mine have 2 eyes this time. See, I glued my eyes on? That's the start. All right, and I think I'll make him have the colored part of his eyes will be purple. So I'm going to fold that in half and cut out a smaller circle. To go on the inside. Maybe I'll make mine silly. Maybe I'll make him cross-eyed. That'd be fun, right? All right. Mine's gonna make a silly face. This is actually really fun. So there he's cross-eyed, my little cross-eyed monster. Okay. Now let's make a mouth. Black is great for the mouth because it looks like his mouth is open, right? So I'm gonna make a silly shape. Big old wide open mouth. Oh yeah, yeah, that's gonna be great. Okay. Let's put some glue on the back of the mouth. See that? Okay. Now, let's give him a green silly tongue. How about that? Let's make it really long. Ooh, I have an idea. I'm gonna make a really long tongue. And if you take a pencil, a crayon, and you roll it. So I'm rolling it around my crayon. When you take it off, it's got this nice curly tongue, right? And I'm gonna stick that in there, in the mouth. And then we need to make some fun teeth. This guy has got sharp teeth and he's angry, right? This guy is gonna be silly, so we'll make his teeth and mess around with the tongue. Oh, that's super fun. Let's make his teeth kind of rounded and goofy looking. I'm cutting on the fold so that I have double when I'm done. Let's stop there. Let's see what that looks like. Oh boy, that's super fun. Okay, so let's cut that in half. Put a little glue there. How's that? Looking pretty silly. Okay, and now let's make some fun hair. So, if you got extra yarn around your house, extra string, grab some of that. And if you just kind of, if you take a length of it and you fold it in half, and then you hold it there on the rest of your yarn, ooh, it's gonna roll off. And you just keep folding it around like this to make a lot of the same length. This could be really fun. You see I'm just kind of folding it around and making a whole lot of different lengths. And then when you get to where you like it, you can just cut it off. And then, actually before I cut that, I'm gonna tie it in the middle. So there's your yarn. You're gonna wrap it around a finger like this so you have a loop. Do you see that? And then you're going to push that yarn through. It's just like tying your shoes, right? tight. And then you take your scissors and you cut all those loops. Probably should have got a better pair of scissors. But we're gonna do our best with these scissors. All right. And so now you've got some fun hair that you can put on top of your monster. Again, a big old blob of glue would be great. And stick that hair on there. Move it around so it's all over his head. See that? And then use that fun Easter basket, your Easter basket grass. This could be great hair, super fun, really fun way to use it. So put a bunch of more glue on top of that hair that you already put on and just plop this right on top. And you can, of course, move it around and add more glue if it's starting to fall off. But if you leave it alone, it'll dry and be super, super fun. It looks like that. So great. And let's add some arms. So now you can use pipe cleaners, right? Oh, I forgot. If you've got little stickers, little fun stickers, I'm going to use a butterfly. Those sticky back foam things, some of you guys might have that. If you don't, maybe you could cut it out of paper, but just either take the back off and stick it on the hair, or you could use, ooh, that's not sticking very well, so maybe I'm going to need to use some glue. Take some glue and just stick it on there. And you could cut it out of paper too, it doesn't have to be the foam. And you've got a little fun thing. This guy's got a spider in his hair. You see a spider? Right? And this one's got a cute butterfly. Did it fall off? No, it's still there. Ah! Okay. Stand this guy up. All right, so let's do some quick arms, some fun arms, easy arms. I'm going to use green for my arms. And these can be any way you want. So I'm just going to stick, like punch a little hole in the side and just stick this in as far as it will go. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. This wire inside your pipe cleaner is strong enough that it will poke through your paper. If your paper's thin enough. If it's not, you might have to have your mom or dad help you. And there's some arms. Now to be super fun, you can twist them. You can bend them and make some fingers. Right? Twist this one around too. How's that? Does that look good? I love it. That's my silly monster because I'm feeling kind of silly today. But the other day, I was feeling a little angry. Make a monster according to how you feel. You can do it any way you want and any way you feel is okay. But this is a fun way to do it. All right, have fun. Bye.